It's a giraffe. So I'm not gonna lie, last week when you talked about Facebook, I was a little bit jealous because that's a topic that I have like so many opinions on. Personally, I believe that Facebook maybe isn't dying, but it is definitely changing, at least the way that it is perceived by me. So let me give you the breakdown. First up, let's talk about the concept of the product life cycle. This is a common product life cycle that represents the birth and death of many consumer products. It starts with the development phase. This would be Zuckerberg creating Facebook in his dorm room at Harvard. Then there is the introduction phase. This would include the periods when Facebook was available to people with a harvard.edu address and then the people thereafter that were able to get Facebook using only a .edu email address. Then there's the growth phase. This is probably when Facebook became available just to the general public. Anybody can create an account. It basically explodes. The next phase is where I think Facebook currently stands, and that is the maturity phase. This is where the growth rates are beginning to decline. Overall, it is still getting bigger, just not as big as fast. The final stage is decline, and this is where not only the growth rates have gotten smaller, the entire whole is beginning to get smaller. So that's how the product life cycle typically works and where I believe Facebook stands. The next thing I want to talk about is the innovation and adoption cycle. Sorry, I know this is a little dry, but bear with me, I'm getting somewhere with this. This chart explains a spectrum of different people and how they come to adopt new innovations. Let's apply it to Facebook. Now with Facebook, the term innovators may not apply the same way that it does with a lot of other consumer products, and that's because the earliest people to use Facebook were basically people who went to Harvard and had that harvard.edu email address. They weren't necessarily recognizing a seedling of what would blossom into like a huge phenomenon. The early adopters were those people who got Facebook when it was only available to those people with a .edu address, and this is not just harvard.edu, this was anybody with a .edu email address in general from any school. Then comes the early majority. This is when Facebook basically became available to anyone, but who were the only people at that point in time who had a Facebook account? College students. When it became available to everybody, who do you think the first people to get an account were? People who are friends with college students. Early adopters are basically people with plus or minus 4 years of a college student's age. Facebook at this point has become mainstream. The next phase of the adoption cycle is where I believe Facebook has reached today, and that is the late majority. Now we know that Facebook started with college students, and it's my suspicion the next group that followed was like friends of college students, and after that, who's left? Their parents. Do you remember this quote from The Social Network? We don't know what it is, we don't know what it can be, we don't know what it will be. We know that it is cool. That is a priceless asset I'm not giving up. Then you shouldn't have let our parents join. Kidding, of course, but the way I see it, and you made this point in your video last week, Facebook basically has it all, and it's fairly straightforward. It allows you to share a wide array of content with your friends and very easily access your friends' content. And really my point isn't all these old peeps are joining, I'm out of here. I just believe that there's a social media development process that people go through. And unlike many life experiences, us as young people went through this phase before our parents did. The younger generation is outgrowing Facebook and the older generation is just getting acquainted. But Jay, last week you asked what sites people prefer to Facebook, whether it be Reddit or Tumblr or Twitter or Instagram. My question is, why do you use those specific sites? Have you ever thought about your specific shift from Facebook to whatever the other sites may be? Did you even go through a shift? Meaning, did you start your social media career with Facebook and then go somewhere else, or did you just start somewhere else? Leave it in the towel section down below. The last thing I absolutely have to talk about today is we got more fan mail, and this time it is just so cool. Me and Jonathan each got like the half of our face logos in duct tape. Again, we're made out of duct tape here. This was awesome, and it's all like pixelated and they fit together. It's so cool. And then we've got this, just a beautiful work of art. It is like a grizzly eagle shark duct tape painting, or whatever you'd call a duct tape piece of artwork, but it is just so cool, and we were so excited to get this. So once again, guys, I mean, it is just so awesome, and I know we've said this 1,000 times, but we love the Super Carlin Brothers community. We love communicating with you guys. We love that you're sending us anything at all, and we do have a P.O. box now, so if you would like to, I will also have that information in the description below. But Jay, that's everything that I've got for you today, man. I'll see you tomorrow.